Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll Post-Credit Show.
Yes.
Where we talk about games we've played, movies we've watched, and other sort of nerd junk we have done. I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Woo! Oh, it was my notification for liking my own notification. Took a second.
Alright.
I've done a couple things. Look at you go. Good for
Yeah,
you.
too.
That's actually good for you.
I was busy with life.
Yep.
Made me stay up late and everything. Got the pressures of hockey pools going on.
Well, I was gonna say hockey's been at least I've been able to watch the hockey games.
This is the final week
Yep.
before the playoffs in our pool start.
Oh yeah.
So I was trying to secure positions.
Yep.
And it's watching other people what they do. You know, the actual pressures of hockey.
GMing. Yeah.
Hockey.
Yeah. Our GM's been doing pretty good. If you're an
Which-
Oilers fan.
Which, as soon as we clinch, we can bring back
I know.
Oiler Hour.
I know. I can press a button.
I
and we
say
can-
hour, but more like Oiler.
Yeah, we can
Moment.
start talking. I know. I started thinking of that today. I'm sitting there going, we can start talking about the Oilers again soon.
You still have.
I don't know. I think I got rid of it.
Oh.
I'll put it back. I'll make a nicer one.
Yeah.
Can talk hockey again.
That was our biggest segment.
I know. Can put it on the Twitter thing like, we're talking hockey. Come and join us. And it's like they're talking about video games. Just wait. My wife and I have been watching Kids Baking Championship.
New season?
New season of Kids Baking Championship. They're down to the final 3 now. Like, I haven't been talking about it because I keep forgetting that we're watching it. But it's one of those we've been
It's one
watching.
of those things.
So it's been funny because I think they lowered the age group. So
Yeah.
they are mostly all younger kids this time around.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff they're making, like sometimes you're stupidly impressed. And other times there's one episode where they had to make llama-themed cupcakes. And only one of the girls made it so hers looked like a llama.
Yeah.
Everybody else's were they're like, so today we're
They
pretty
didn't know
much
what-
judging off of taste.
They didn't know what a llama looked
They
like.
brought in a llama.
Okay, then there's no excuse.
No, there was zero excuse. Like, I don't know. And I'm sitting there going, like, even if you do the cupcake, like, do the decorative cupcake where you're not supposed to eat all the icing.
Yeah.
But, like, do the Dairy Queen layers almost.
Yeah.
And then put a little face on top, and you got yourself essentially a llama.
Yeah.
Stick some ears in, and,
Yeah.
Like, there's things you can do. Some of them tried to just draw on the cupcake with, like, icing. But by the time that makes it to, like, a judge, it's this
Yeah.
melted pool of nothing, and you're like, oh dear.
So the one person that did obviously got through.
Oh yeah, she won that round because they're like, yours tasted good and looked like a llama, so congrats. Like,
Yeah.
welcome to the winner's circle on this episode.
I wonder if it would look good but tasted bad and she'd still make it
I
through.
don't know, and that's an interest. Like, thankfully, she made a good tasting cupcake that also looked like a
It was
llama.
an easy decision.
Yeah. The last episode we watched, it kicked like the last person. So the last episode is next week.
Yeah.
This one they had to make 3D dinosaur cookies.
Okay.
So they gave them the cookie cutters they needed. So
Yeah.
it made the feet, and it made the body parts, and it made the head. And then you just had to bake it properly so that all the pieces went together.
Yeah.
So it stood up, and you had yourself a dinosaur.
Alright.
And the guy who won, I don't think should have won.
Yeah.
Because his dinosaur barely looked like a dinosaur.
Dinosaur can be whatever you imagine it.
I get that, but like when you're in these kinds of competitions, because they have edible markers that you can draw with.
Yeah.
Well, he put his like icing on his cookie because it's a sugar cookie.
Okay.
So he put icing on it, like we did for Gingerbread Man.
Yeah.
That kind of icing, and he didn't let it dry, and then starts trying to draw in it with a marker. But that's like trying to take paint and then take like a Sharpie.
Yeah.
It looked like that.
Hmm.
Whereas the other girl had done like all of these nice designs with the frosting and all of that. Like
Yeah.
everything looked just that much neater.
Yeah.
But I
All the
guess
taste.
his cookie must have tasted better.
Just the taste.
Yeah. So they had to boot the one girl who hers was supposed to be a triceratops, and she didn't freeze her cookie dough after she had cut it. So when she put it into the oven, it expanded.
Oh, okay.
And when you're trying to put cookies together,
Yeah.
and everything is expanded. Nothing went together, so she like found a way to hold all of her cookies up and then just put them all together. So it was supposed to be a triceratops, and it just looked like a pile of goop on top of cookies that were standing, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think there would be an easy dinosaur.
The way the cookie cutters were, like if you actually cut them, put them in the blast chiller, and then baked them, they all, like, the pieces just... So if you did everything properly, it just came down to flavor of cookie and decorating. But booting her was pretty much easy because hers didn't even really stand up on its own.
Yeah.
And it sucked because, like, sometimes she's really, like, she's the attention to detail person, and she forgot that one detail, and it derailed her entire day. Then they also had to make dinosaur eggs, so the one guy made a brownie and then covered it in chocolate fudge, so it ended up just looking like a dinosaur poop. But, you know, they're kids, and some of them are, like, 10 and are baking stuff that I couldn't possibly bake. My wife could.
Well, yeah.
That's what she does. But me, there's a kid just like plopping ingredients into a pan to make his brownies.
Yeah.
Just mixing it. And then even like the professional chef who's like the professional baker who comes up like as a judge goes, are you just throwing stuff in a sauce? Like you're just eyeballing ingredients? And the kid goes, I make these. Like I could do this in my sleep. And he's just like, okay. And then he eats it and he's like, damn, you made a good brownie. Yeah. The kid's like, I told you I do this in my sleep. Like,
yeah.
And I'm going, there's no way. I'm the guy that like bakes stuff. And I'm like, you know, everything is perfect. Like, you need a cup of this. There's a cup, you know. My wife's like that kid. Just fix it after if you need. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I've caught the last episode. Amy and Jake are trying to have a child.
Huh? Yeah, it's taking the next step.
They are. So this episode actually takes place over 3 months.
Okay.
So, Hitchcock is looking for his Cinderella.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's an entertaining part of an episode. Boyle and Rosa and Boyle have a problem with guinea pigs.
Okay.
Terry's still in charge of the precinct because they can't find a new captain.
Yeah.
But Captain Holt is tired of walking the same beat all the time, even though that's what they're supposed to do as rookie police officers. Yeah. So that's his storyline. Like, they had 4 stories going on in this one.
Right.
But they all kind of, like, because it takes place over so many months, it's what happens to each of their scenarios after, you know, like 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks sort of thing. Yeah. It's a pretty well thought out episode.
Nice.
So it's nice to see Brooklyn Nine-Nine back. It'll be nice if they've got an 8th season. They spent a lot of time on one character who wasn't even like an original cast member.
Yeah.
Like that just ended last week. So they brought in a actor from SNL, and she's Ray's partner.
Okay.
And she pretty much had a storyline that lasted since the beginning, like 5 episodes.
Yeah. They
spent on kind of this one character, and it's like, okay.
So Andy Samberg, BrNN, friends, and
oh yeah, he always they try to. Well, you know, you're getting pretty much comedy gold out of, you know exactly what characters they can play.
Yeah. You
know exactly what they can and can't do with their face and like their, you know, acting style because you see them every week.
Yeah.
So, Clone Wars, I have finished season 5. I'm on to season 6.
Not quite there.
No, I'm not quite to the new stuff yet. I'm getting closer. The guy who voiced the Emperor died at some point in the between 5 and 6. So Tim Curry took over. So the Emperor's voice actually changes, but it's Tim Curry, so I can't even complain.
Yeah.
Because it's like still really awesome. One of the episodes that was on was one of the clones' inhibitor chips goes bad, and so he executes Order 66 early, and then all of the
no one catches on, eh?
Well, all the episodes are like the Separatists trying to cover it up.
Yeah,
like it's I think 2 or 3 episodes of like one of the clones trying to figure out what happened to his buddy.
Yeah.
And then everybody seems to be trying to cover it up. And he's just like, what is going on? Like, it's almost a conspiracy show because, like, there's the one guy who knows what's going on or sort of knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And then everybody seemingly wanting to try and, like, just, no, that's not what's, no. Mm-mm. And, of course, like, Palpatine's getting involved because he can't let on what's happening.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, damn, this is, like... And I'm sitting there going, well, this clone that's figured it out has to die.
No.
Or, like, something bad has to happen to him because... None of them knew about Order 66.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you kind of know what's going to happen to the dude. It's just following the storyline to, like, what happens.
Yeah.
And that's fresh off the heels of Ahsoka getting pinned for killing a bunch of Jedi in a bomb in the Jedi Temple and going on trial and finding out she can't really trust the Jedi and... Because the Jedi excommunicate her.
Yeah.
And then when they find out it wasn't Ahsoka... They're like, well, you can come back now. And she's like, no. I'm done.
I keep it a lightsaber, though.
No, I don't think she does.
Well, obviously she does because
She goes and makes new ones, I think. Because the new ones, after she leaves, she used to have a green one and a yellow one.
Yeah.
She has 2 white ones now.
Yeah.
Because she has no allegiance to...
Yeah.
Any, like,
well,
she's not...
They're the pure...
Yeah, she's not Sith, she's not Jedi, she's neutral, so hers are white.
I don't think that's the reason why they're white.
For her, I think. Because on the Clone Wars cartoon... Well, on the Clone Wars cartoon, Dave Filoni wanted to get as many lightsaber colors out there as he possibly could.
Yeah.
Because he's like, this is our chance.
Sure.
Not just blue and green and one purple one, like, let's go crazy. So... the writing on the show is pretty stellar. It's one of those things that you don't need this to make the prequels better, but it, like, just existing makes the prequels better.
Yeah.
Padme and Anakin going through all of their stuff, like, you know.
Always going through 2 or 3 episode arcs.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
So, it's essentially, yeah, you have to sit down and know you're spending an hour watching,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
this storyline unfold. The nice part is after season 2... the storylines all follow, like, a timeline. So, like, Ahsoka leaving, she's not back the next episode, like, hi, guys!
Yeah.
And you're like, I thought you left. It's carrying on now. Anakin doesn't have a Padawan anymore, and, you know.
Because he can't.
Yeah, because he doesn't have Padawan, and the war just keeps moving forward, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, cool show. I can't wait till I get to the 7th season.
Finish Sunday.
I'm getting close, because... I was talking to Brian the one day, and he's like, I just finished season 5, and I'm like, I'm almost done season 5, and he's like, how have you had time to watch it? And I'm like, there's a baby who doesn't sleep, so I can't leave the baby to, like, play games, so I watched Clone Wars. I did get a couple games in, one being Mega Man Zero. I bought the collection on my Switch, so these were Game Boy Advanced games.
Yep.
They take place 100 years after Mega Man X.
Okay. And
you are Zero. These Reploid who has, like, the sword and all of that jazz, who look real badass in the X games.
Yeah.
This is 100 years later. This group of mercenaries has broken in. They've reawakened you, and you now have to go and save the world from X. Because X went bad.
All right.
So Mega Man started destroying all of the, like he was essentially, he went Ultron on everybody and was like, if I kill everybody, I can restart and build, like, the perfect world.
Yeah.
So he went from, like, I'm gonna help everybody and be good to, like, something happened within that 100 years, where he has to destroy everything. Yeah. So I remember playing these games ages ago. They are semi-impossible, just like the Mega Man games are.
Yeah.
The collection, though, did one nice thing and added checkpoints. So if you want to play the original game...
I don't remember that.
If you want to play the original game, this is only for the Mega Man Zero collection that they have these checkpoints. If you want to play the game like you used to, you can. So you pick your missions. If you run out of lives, you're dead. You restart the game.
Yeah.
You're screwed. This one, if you die, you go back to a checkpoint and you can try again. So, like, if a boss takes you 30 boss fights, it takes you 30 boss fights. Yeah. But at least you can make it through the story.
Yeah.
because I remember playing these on my Game Boy, and like getting to the third boss and losing all my lives, and you have to restart pretty much the entire game, or you've lost out on that particular mission.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily gain powers from the bad guys, you gain cyber elves.
Okay.
And if you activate a cyber elf, it kills the cyber elf, but it gives you a boost in power somewhere. So like you, instead of getting health tanks, you get cyber elves, and you're like, I use you, and your health tank gets bigger, but the cyber elf dies.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay. So that's kind of their ebb and flow, and then you get ranked in the game. And if you use too many cyber elves, your rank is pretty much stuck at an F. So you can make it through the game without cyber elves. It just, you have to know boss patterns, and you have to know like
practice.
Yeah, so the checkpoints have been nice, because you get into a boss fight and you're like, okay, this is what he does. I can start dashing and sliding and doing this, and being that he's Zero, he not only has a buster, but he also has a sword.
Yeah.
So the right button up here is his sword, and down here is the buster. And then he also at one point gets like a lance. Like he actually gets extra weapons that you can switch through.
Yeah.
So it changes the Mega Man formula, but it still feels like Mega Man.
Yeah.
So this game comes with Mega Man 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Mega Man ZX 1 and 2. I think they were the DS games that came after. So I'm only playing one so far. I haven't gotten too far.
Because it hasn't broken me yet.
It hasn't broken me yet. It almost did. There was one boss where I'm just like, how do I beat this thing? And I finally went online because I'm like, okay, what's the pattern? And some people are like, easiest boss in the game. And I'm like, you know what?
Screw you.
Screw you all, until I read the one tip that was like, if you jump at this exact point, they'll miss you all the time. And it's exactly what happened. And I'm like, this is the easiest boss in the game. As soon as you know one simple trick. And the other game I'm playing, Tony saw it on a shelf the other day and sent me a text message, and I picked it up because it was right next to where I work. Ring Fit Adventure.
Oh, okay.
This is something I am able to do with the baby, because when the baby sleeps for the 6 minutes that the baby decides to sleep for, I can, pop in and do the thing. So the only disadvantage I have is I'm doing it handheld mode.
Okay.
So if you do the adventure mode, you have the strap on your leg, you got the controller in the ring.
Yeah.
And to get through the levels, you have to run. So you run on the spot, which is fine, but then there's stuff on the map that you can, like, if you press in, you shoot, and if you pull out, you suck in.
Yeah.
And then to, like, jump, you aim down and push, because it propels you up. I can't see all the details, so I'm missing shooting things and sucking things in and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm missing that part of it. So on the maps, I'm mostly just running in place until I get to bad guys. Once you get to bad guys, it's much easier, because then it's
the big thing.
Well, yeah, then you're in there, and it goes like, it comes up kind of like Wii Fit used to, where it's like, here's a picture of someone doing the exercise, follow along.
Yeah.
And if you do it right, your character like ignites in flames, sort of like they go Dragon Ball. And so if you're doing squats properly, it'll, show you by bright flashy colors.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then they show you the proper posture, so like your arms aren't out here and you're pushing in, because that makes it easy. Like your arms are tucked at your side, and you gotta.
Yeah.
And they make you do enough reps of like push in and hold, and you're like, oh, that one was easy. Push in and hold, oh, that one was easy. Push in and hold, it's getting a little tougher. Push in and hold, and it's like, is this pushing back? Push in and hold, and you're like, I think this thing's pushing back. But I can do like little 6-minute kind of. The levels don't last that long.
Yeah.
Especially because I try to sprint through them. So like, because again, the running portion, I'm missing half the stuff anyways. So I just run as fast as I can on the spot, and sprinting does actually move your guy faster.
Yeah.
If there's stairs that appear, you have to do leg lifts.
Okay.
And yeah, different attacks do different stuff to different enemies, so they make you mix it up. You can't just sit there doing squats all night.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Well, you gotta keep it.
Yeah, you
muscle
gotta
memory and all that.
You gotta move it around, and it does a good job of like, because I just hit the random button when it comes to the boss fights.
Yeah.
Or the bad guy fights, because you hit random, and it's like, okay, we'll just select random exercises for you to do. And to block, all you do is put the ring against your stomach and then press in with your hands.
Yeah.
So essentially, like, it's like an ab press. So if you have no abs, you have to press in that much harder to get the ring to. to press in. Like, you really got to try and tighten up your stomach as much as possible to force the ring to close.
Yeah.
And of course, because it has all the gyroscopes and all of that jazz, it knows if you're trying to cheat by just like, I'll just squeeze it. It knows. It's on to you. Yeah. Exactly. It knows if you're trying to cheat. And before any of the exercises start, it makes sure that the ring's in the proper position. And then it does, like, once it is, it's like 3, 2, 1, and go. And then you have to do the exercises. And every time you do the exercise, it shows you the little guy doing, like, this is how you do it properly. And you're like, okay. And so it shows you the timing, like you do it with him for 2.
Yeah.
And then it shrinks his picture down smaller. And then shows, like, the bad guys getting hit by...
So if you screw up, he comes back up?
I don't know, because I haven't... As soon as you're into the rhythm of it, you're good.
Yeah.
So... And he's still in this corner, so, like, if you're trying to time all of your stuff out, like, there's one where you have to...
I'm just thinking small screen, though.
I know, he's
tiny.
pretty tiny. He's big enough I can still see what he's doing.
Yeah.
And again, the ring is in red, so you know exactly... like where the ring's supposed to be, because there's one where you do like a half squat and then take the ring from up here and lower it slowly down in front of you and then back up.
Yeah.
And the screen in big letters goes like, slow down, go slow, do this, do like, it's very much an exercise game with stuff behind it.
Better than Wii Fit?
Yes, because I found the Wii Balance Board, one didn't do a lot of upper body stuff because it was a board.
Yeah.
I remember Wii Fit, it was like, do push-ups, do 20. And I'm like, yeah, I can do 20 push-ups.
Yeah.
Just put your hands on the board, and you do a push-up, and it's like, we're still waiting for 1. And I'm like, okay. So I do it again, and it's like, still waiting. And I'm going, nope. So then it's like, okay, so you hold it.
Yeah.
And then push up, nothing. And then you get like halfway down on one, and it's like, ding. And you're going... So by the time you do 50 push-ups, you've done 20 according to the game.
Yeah.
And then you do the next thing, and it's like, do another 20. And I'm like, no.
I don't want it.
I refuse. So for upper body, this is much better.
Yeah.
And lower body, because you still have the one on your leg, like there is
When you're
like...
running.
And the running
step
piece
in.
of it. And yeah, but there's even one where it's like, put the ring down, and then pretty much you're bouncing on your butt and doing leg lifts up to your chest.
Yeah.
So it still tracks to make sure your leg's moving the right way. There's just nothing anymore that measures your weight or your balance or that kind of stuff.
It doesn't...
Oof. That always was that was a treat on. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't weigh that much, and it still makes you feel horrible when you step on the thing and it goes, oof. And then it tells you your BMI is almost like underweight. And it's like, then why are you being like a dick? Stupid board. The other bonus to this is because it uses the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
They're always charged.
Yeah.
So the thing that always took me out of Wii Fit was if the thing ran out of batteries,
Yeah.
and you didn't have 4 AA batteries hanging around for whatever reason, or like we had rechargeables in there for a while, so you had to wait for them to recharge, then put them back in. Well, as soon as you're out of a routine for like 2 days, especially an exercise one, like that's one of those things where you're kind of like, I need to give it another week. I'll give myself a week off. And a week off turns into a month off, and then,
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, this one's easier, more portable, everything's lighter, everything, like there's no charging required because the charging's happening. Like if your system is charged, your controllers are charged.
Yeah.
If your controllers are charged, plug them in, wrap it on, and you're good to go. So, yes, I'm finding I don't do a lot of leg stuff anyways, like especially with Wii Fit.
Yeah.
There was a lot of leg stuff, which was good for my knee when my knee wasn't all that great. But now it's like, knee's good. Got to work on
everything else.
Everything else, thanks. This has been really, because like a lot of the presses are. And then the nice part is it does tell you, like, we're working on this muscle group or this muscle group or, this muscle group. And it's like, okay, so you're not just willy-nilly, like, doing exercises. It's, today we're going to work on your pecs. And you're like, okay. Or this exercise will work on your pecs. Or this one will work on. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's sort of nice to know.
Yeah.
There are settings, so if you have, like, knee problems, you can set it to say you have knee problems.
That's good.
Yeah, like, there's there's modes, and I haven't really looked at them. I just saw them in the options as like, so if you have an arm problem, you pick which arm you have a problem with, and you can now like kind of handicap one of your appendages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's
All
nice.
of them.
Exactly. No, you just set your age. It asks your age, and it asks how intense you want your workout to be.
Not very.
So I went with like the one just above not very, because I'm like, well, I want to do something. Yeah. And you can always lower it and raise it and all that jazz. But so yeah, you set your weight. No, you don't set your weight. You set your age, and you set how intense you want to go. Yeah. And it dials your exercise into that range. Mm-hmm. So it's essentially impossible to lose any of the adventure stuff, at least so far.
Yeah.
But, so that part's nice, where it's like, as long as you're doing the exercises, you're good to go. And if you do the exercises well, you do more damage. So if you do a squat and the squat is still a squat, like you'll do 5 damage. If you do a squat but get lower, 7 damage sort of thing. So they do want you to. And again, your character, like his pants light up and his hair lights up to kind of denote like, yeah, you have achieved the actual squat. Not like that one you did before. So yeah, my only thing is on the small screen, it's tough to see the adventure stuff, but all the exercise stuff works. So if you don't have access to a TV all the time, it's still a good exercise game. It's just not super keen for like if you're trying to play it as a video game.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I guess is it'd be nice if the Switch had Bluetooth headphones. Because again, if you're working out and there's people in the room, you know, it going like 3 more reps isn't really the.
Thanks.
It's turned down. So I play without volume and on a small screen.
You're hooped.
So I cannot give you the full Ring Fit Adventure experience.
You're hooped.
But and the nice part is it doesn't take a lot of room as long as you can stand and have room in front of you and beside you and that kind of stuff. You're good to go. It's not like a Connect or anything where you need an entire, warehouse.
No coffee table in the way.
Yeah, you don't have to move stuff and this and that and everything and da 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 da. So there you go. That's me.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
Make
me.
this quick. Briefly went back into Crackdown.
Oh yeah.
Did a couple more side things.
Yeah.
It is obviously putting up the difficulty.
Yep.
Now it's whenever I attack something, waves of people are going to come at you.
Oh,
wonderful.
Great.
So,
I like how that's what the difficulty setting does.
Well, it's just like, because you could usually just go into like a train station because you have to take them over.
Yeah.
To impede the people who are running it. And that was it. Well, now if I attack a train station, there are reinforcements coming into this new section. It's like, all right, I see a game you're playing here.
It's called Crackdown 3 on a harder difficulty.
So, it's just progress.
Yes.
Try to test you.
Yep.
Which there was one tough one where I had to take over a tower, but I died. I'm not going back to that because it's just because they're on different levels, and then while you're being shot, you gotta try and climb this thing to go attack the other guys that are above you, but then you got waves of guys still coming at you and shooting you from the ground. It's like, and I'm running out of ammo, and I'm like, I'm walking away from this for now. Yeah. It does, before you go into it, it does give you the survival chance. I don't know how to raise those. So once I figure that out, I might get better. I don't know. Hard to say.
I should install Crackdown 3. Let's be clear.
Not 1.
No.
But yes, so that just a quick game of that I did because I obviously life.
Yeah.
I did have a chance for one more movie.
Excellent.
To continue the.
Oh, and I knew which one you were watching because you told me which one you were watching.
This is Rise of the Guardians.
How did you enjoy Rise of the Guardians?
I liked how they did that. How the boogeyman taking everything out and saying the kids don't know what you're doing, then you don't exist.
Right.
And you can know how I feel. And they did that well because if the kids don't believe in you, they don't see you.
Yeah.
But if they do believe in you, hey, there's Santa, and you actually see Santa. And just that whole I like that whole process.
Yep.
How they did that.
Well, and it lends itself to that whole, we do start to lose imagination as you get older. And
Oh, yeah.
so, yeah, it plays into that quite well.
Weird how Jack Frost is there, though. Because you never really think of these characters.
Yeah, you got like Easter Bunny, Santa Claus,
Sandman,
yeah,
and the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
And then Jack Frost.
Good old Jack Frost. Yeah, I think he was... Because these were based on books, and I honestly think it was like, we need someone who's not, super big to kind of do something.
Well, it would have been, like, interesting to do, like, because when they're picking the new Guardian, Sandman is like, ooh, the leprechaun.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day. Add him.
And
where Bunny is, please not the groundhog, please not the groundhog, please not the groundhog. And you went with the Jack Frost route.
Yep.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It was different.
Yeah, these superhero Avengers, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting that and even when their kids were forgetting about them, they were losing their powers. Like, Bunny went from this big, tall thing to a little cute bunny. And then once kids started believing in him, I'm back.
Yeah.
And even Santa Claus, the reindeer weren't listening to him. Were driving off, and
he wasn't high enough level to control his Pokemon.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, didn't have those gym badges.
He lost control. He lost his badges.
Yeah, yeah. It's a cool way to look at those characters, and yeah, the imagination pieces.
It was almost like Boogeyman was the nemesis to Sandman.
Well, it'd be interesting to read the books to see, exactly who.
Because it almost seemed like it, because Sandman was all doing, I'll have good dreams, and then there's the Boogeyman where he's turning the dreams and going, nope.
Yeah.
So it was almost like they were rivals, almost.
And again, that's why Jack Frost.
Which would be interesting, why, if you went, what's the opposites of each of them, and have like an anti-Avenger type thing. I guess with Santa, you'd have
I was going to say Krampus. That's frightening as hell.
A little bit.
Not like he just steals. Like, the Grinch would be a more child-friendly version of
yes.
Yeah, exactly. But no, he's a Dr. Seuss property, so you can't use that. So it's
I'd say Krampus.
Oh, exactly. But he, doesn't just steal presents,
Tooth Fairy be.
I don't know. Cavity Fairy.
It makes you lose your teeth.
Yeah. There's just a fairy that runs around at night pulling kids' teeth out.
The opposite of the Easter Bunny is, I don't know. I don't even know what the.
If you watch Hop, it's a bunch of chickens.
The opposite of Jack Frost. It's summer.
Yeah.
You gotta melt everything.
Spring or summer, yeah. They pulled that in American Gods. One of the Kristen Chenoweth played a character.
Yeah.
And she was summer or spring or something like that. She was the goddess. Oh, she was Easter. That's what it was.
Okay.
Essentially Easter was spring and yada, yada, yada. But she was the embodiment of it.
Yeah.
So she had, all the Jesuses walking around her house. Because in American Gods, there's more than one Jesus.
Yeah.
Because that's even American Gods. Whatever you believe in can manifest itself as a higher power.
I like that part of it.
Yeah. So that's
which
why.
Which makes sense, because you even think working with kids.
Oh, sure.
At a young age, a lot of them don't believe anymore.
Yeah.
Because of technology and.
Oh, sure.
Media and everything, they don't believe anymore.
Yeah.
So somewhere, Santa has lost control. He's crashed somewhere.
Yeah.
With his reindeer.
Santa's dead because you guys didn't believe.
The Easter Bunny is just some little rabbit running around.
That's why no one gets candy anymore.
Yep.
Just saying.
Jack Frost still comes around. I don't know why I don't see him.
We just have, with all the people who don't believe in global warming, that's the problem.
That's true.
That's where Jack Frost comes from. All those people.
So yeah, that was my. Who was that tie-in? Right, it was Stuart Allen.
Yes, I was gonna say one of the voices off of one of your DC.
The kid.
Yeah. So now you can escape because there was voice actors in that film.
There was actual people in this.
Yes, there was real actors.
Well, I've planned this already. I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I'm like 18 movies ahead right now.
Well, but that's not a bad way to be.
To plan it out, and I think I might know where I'm ending because I'm stuck trying to find something right now. But yes, the next one is The Prestige.
I love The Prestige.
I jumped from Hugh Jackman.
I love The Prestige.
And I know exactly where I'm going after that.
Batman? No, you've seen Batman. You're trying to watch bad movies you haven't seen.
Not bad movies, just movies.
I know. You're just trying to watch, but that's what I mean. You're trying to watch all the movies you've seen.
Yep.
But you've already seen Batman.
Yep.
Christian Bale? Or ScarJo. She's in that movie, isn't she?
Yep.
Yeah.
ScarJo.
Nice. Are you going Jojo Rabbit? Yeah.
Spoiler. I'm going Jojo Rabbit. And then I'm doing a bunch of jumping around, which is very... After going through this and thinking about it, it's very intriguing.
I love the way you're watching these. Like, it's so
There's
entertaining.
no rhyme or reason to it. It's just... I go from from 2019 to the 80s to early 90s, back up to 2019.
Oh, sure.
So
You'll be bouncing all over. But that's a great way to watch movies. Like,
if I included all of my movies, this would never end.
So you've never seen The Prestige?
No. I know we've had this discussion before.
I wasn't sure if it was you
that
had.
You gave me crap for it.
Well, no, I wasn't sure if it was you that hadn't seen it. Or...
You gave me crap for it.
Well, no, there was one other. What? I think there was two of you. Was it Brian?
Yep.
You guys.
Pretty sure it was. No, it might have been Tony.
Might have been Tony. Either way, it is.
Because Tony has seen some things where we questioned him too, and I think he joined me on The Prestige.
Yeah, no, The Prestige. I like The Prestige. And again, you're watching Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman do, magic, with some Nikola Tesla stuff like worked in and all of that jazz. And yeah, no, it's there's some good stuff going on in that film.
Maybe by next week,
maybe.
Life has slowed down.
By next week, by tomorrow afternoon, mine will have slowed down a little bit more.
I can maybe jump back into some things.
Yeah. No, I know it's all like I'm sitting there going.
Like I want to watch a TV show, but it's kind of like, what do I want to watch?
Oh, I know.
I have heard Hunter is good.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to jump into an Amazon Prime show because I haven't watched much of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched Third Rock from the Sun, but
that's yeah.
I've seen. I don't need to talk about that because it's.
No, it's Third Rock.
You look at it now and it's like, okay, well, the way the society works, you can totally tell that someone's not an alien.
Yeah.
Or someone is an alien.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly how society is now. It makes total sense. There's aliens among us.
Always.
But yeah, that's all I did.
Cool. Well, join us next week when we do this all over again. Yeah. While you're waiting, like and subscribe, share with all your friends, and of course go to barrelrollnews.com. barrelrollnews.com.
I got it.
Yes, blah, 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 to find all of our social media links where you can follow us and find out when we're doing stuff and when we're going online and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.